Good morning. All right, so we got this sweet gum here, badly rotted. The whole inside of it is not sounding good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up to that union right there. I'm gonna set a rig and rope, and I've got my GRCS mounted over there on that tree. I'm gonna set that, and I'm gonna pull a lot of weight and compensate against that lean going this way, because all I really need to do is get that lead out up there. If I can get where that union is and drop that lead about midway right here, the rest of the tree is fine. It's just that whole piece can't come out. I'd worry that it will come down and hit the roof. Once that's out, that whole lead can come down all by itself, pull, drop right here, and then from there, it's just sticks and twigs pretty much. So we're gonna proceed with that idea and see how it looks up top. All right, we got a rig and rope set in it. That's gonna run back here. Up there is where I need to get. I need to cut up there and drop the last 8 feet of that by itself right here. It's so rotted that I don't feel comfortable taking this whole lead at once. It's got a lot of weight that way where it could come down through here, but then we got that I don't know, drainage water access right there. It's pretty hollow here. It's solid on the backside. All right, got this rigging rope up there. So we're counteracting that weight. The tree wants to go that way. So we're gonna put some weight on it this way, but not too much. I don't wanna overdo it and break this thing off. But that's pretty good right there. All right, heading back up. Well, I came up a little bit further, and it felt solid down here, but we got mushrooms growing. That is no good. And listen to this. Listen to this. Absolutely not. There's no way I'm climbing past that. None. And this needs to get taken out in small pieces, otherwise it's going to hit that roof. So it's either me climb up there past this funkified no bueno garbage, or I get a lift. There's plenty of room for it. I put it right there. I come up and knock that out, and I think that's the idea. There's no other way. I can't swing this. I can't get this to, there's no way I'm going to trust this whole inwood down here to be able to hinge it that way. If I come down here and if I use this weight and try to send both of these leaders at the same time, use this weight to push them this way. Oh, that's sunk in. Again, the problem is I don't trust that hinge wood. That could go down, I could nip the corner of that building. There's a water access down there. I do not like it. So I'm trying to think of anything else I could do. There's nothing, even rigging. I don't know how far out that's rotted. It's probably rotted all the way up through. It may not be that heavy, but you know, try swing it there. I'm not going to rig off of this tree. There's no way. I'm not gonna, I'd have to get way up on top of that in order to rig this off of that tree. That's no way. There's nothing back here. Oh, we could rig off of this. So I think we are going to call it quits on this one. And maybe if I come back with a lift, I'll video that one. But for now, we done. Good morning. All right, this is the job I was at. Today's Friday. I was here Wednesday. This is one that's real rotted. I'm gonna walk around here. This thing is completely hollow on the inside. And the whole tree is, it's an easy tree. It's just that this big lead right here, that it's not over the garage, but it's close. And about halfway in it, right about there, it's got some major rot. So I need to get out to the tip of that and take off a couple small pieces to bring it back to at least about here before I start sending bigger stuff. And with the rot, I'm not gonna climb past it. I was up there the other day, I'll put that in the video, to where I needed a lift. So I went and got this. We're back today. So this will make a quick work of it. it.